Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, this is Jesse with the Common Nerd. And you know, after X-Men 97 and its general success and the fact that the majority of the audiences out there enjoyed it, which I think is strictly to the fact of Bo DeMeo, you know, there was probably some people out there that were totally understandably cautiously optimistic about the new Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated television series coming from Disney Plus, right? But as we have seen so many times over and over and over again, boys and girls, things don't generally always end up the way we expect them. Now, obviously, the access media out there was shilling hard for this story, harder than we've seen them shill for anything when it comes to Disney Marvel in quite a long time. And of course, that always raises concerns when they come out completely and totally in favor of something, because more often than not, the audiences and the critics don't agree in the modern era in any way, shape, or form. And it turns out, after the first 2 episodes have premiered, it's exactly what we all suspected after seeing the trailer and all of the early on clips, and they have fully delivered on the message, boys and girls. And now we know why all of the industry was shilling for the living Hades out of this television show, this animated series. And now, of course, we've got the beauty of having the audience score, which has come in and pretty much completely and totally hated this movie. I mean, a 69% is absolutely abysmal, because fans are far more forgiving of things than critics are. But when you decide to go down to the woke agenda path like the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has, well, guess what? It doesn't end up working out for you very well. And as you can see over here, boys and girls, we've got several articles and several things to talk about over there, because of course one of the actors involved with this came out and said, I don't think it's woke at all. Well, guess what? The series writer has now slapped him back into his place, going, oh no, it is definitely woke, and it's going to appeal to a wider audience, which we know exactly what that means. So they have race swapped, they have gender swapped, and things have gone absolutely insane. The audience is responding, and this show is going to turn into another disastrous dumpster fire, and we're going to explain to you exactly why and give you insight onto why you should completely and totally avoid Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, let us know what you can think about all of this in the comment section down below. Did you actually give Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man a chance? What did you think of it? Or or you were completely and totally avoiding this thing like the plague because you knew exactly what it was going to be? Or were you on one of those wait and see situations, and now that you've heard that it is exactly what we expected, you're like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to watch this at all? Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links in the description as well. So let's jump over here to our dear sweet friend Matt McGloin, who was brave enough to sit through this and be honest about what he actually thought of that. Unlike the other 96% of all critics and the 100% of top critics that actually watched this abomination and lied through their asses about how wonderful it was. Because guess what? As you can see from Cosmic Book News, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man review, woke nonsense. Now, what are you talking about? Well, no. The actor, one of the main leads in this, said, no, it's not woke at all. Well, we've got an AMA over here from the Reddit official Marvel Studios, where Jeff Trumall apparently is the guy that's like the head writer behind all of this kind of nonsense. This guy right here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's just go with this. Let's just go with that. We'll give you some of his background here in a second. But like I said, if you thought maybe because the actor said it wasn't woke, it'd actually be okay. Oh, no. Jeff replies, I love Hudson and didn't focus too much on what he said. I believe he simply misspoke. I know that it's been weighing on him. Oh, yeah, because you all dogpiled him because, hey, you can't say it's not woke. We're all woke. It's great. It's great to be woke. Aren't you part of the cult? One of us. Aren't you one of us? You don't be ostracized. You don't be blackballed from Hollywood, do you? I think we made a fantastic show. It's going to appeal to a wide audience and hopefully captures what I love about this Spider-Man, that he's a guy who cares deeply about the people around him and always tries to do the right thing. Well, guess what, boys and girls? As you can see over here from our dear sweet friend over there at Fandom Pulse, John F. Trent, Marvel's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man race and gender swaps lizard after actor claimed show was not woke nor annoying. And oh yes, as you can see, and why is it that Marvel loves race swapping characters and then thinking it's okay and not, well, of course they don't actually know enough about the characters to realize that, hey, Lizard is also a major villain of Spider-Man for quite a while, like one of his earliest villains, right? So you're literally going to take a black female and you're going to make her a villain in the show. I'm sure she'll just be misunderstood, right? I'm sure the only reason she'll turn into the Lizard is to fight the white patriarchy that's holding her down. Oh, don't believe me? Don't believe me they'd try something? Well, let's jump over here to Matt McGloin's wonderful and scorching and very thorough, where he does highlight the things that he does enjoy about the show, but points out all of the glaring overtones where, hey, guess what? You can't do it. So it's obvious the creator injected himself into the series. It completely changes the story of Spider-Man, per the showrunner, to modernize things. And we all know what that means. Essentially, it's complete nonsense. Originally, obviously, we talked about the fact that this isn't going to be an MCU origin story or any of that kind of stuff. So this comes from the same era of Disney, the Disney Marvel era responsible for destroying the MCU, which explains all the woke injections. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man has reportedly been in development for 3 years. It's from the same creator behind the woke LGBT plus kids animated series, Craig Before the Creek, which, hey, we know how all that stuff's going on over there at Disney. No more LGBTQ nonsense. So clearly this will probably be this guy's last job, praying so, at Disney Marvel forever. But hey, we'll see how things go. We also know that Hollywood likes to fail these people up. Let's see, there we go. It also shares the producer with Marvel's What If, which obviously a lot of people thought was terrible, and X-Men 97, which he didn't like, but I know a lot of my friends and stuff that actually watched it did. But now that Bo DeMayo's gone, I have no hope for it, so I'm not even going to bother watching season 1, because season 2 is going to be even worse woke garbage. If you thought the season 1 had any woke stuff in it, season 2 is going to be way worse, because these are the people that's currently in charge of Disney's Marvel animation. At what point are they going to fire all of these people too? I guess we'll see what happens over the next few years. I know they've fired a lot of them already. Honestly, they just should have used Miles Morales again instead of messing with Peter Parker. Didn't like the animation. Best way I can describe it is it has no heart, feels bland and lifeless. The intro race swaps the classic cover of Spider-Man's first appearance in Amazing Fantasy 15, which is unforgivable. Also uses the classic music from the 1967 cartoon to sell the show to the audience. Oh yeah, you remember that great score? You remember all those wonderful memories you had with this wonderful Spider-Man? Yeah. Oh, color of shock there. It's a bait and switch. There's no MJ in the series, but Aunt May looks a lot like MJ. Pretty weird. Boy, it's almost like all of these people in Hollywood are a bunch of fucking degenerates. I don't know, and have a lot of issues behind the scenes that they need to seek appropriate counseling from. I don't know. It just seems to be kind of a thing. Maybe I'm completely and totally wrong, but it seems to be kind of a running thing throughout Hollywood. Hudson Thames sounds a lot like Tom Holland, which makes sense if they were originally going to the MCU's origin story. The actor also got it completely wrong with the recent remarks, talk about not having a clue, which we obviously already went over. Peter/Spidey is tiny, which isn't accurate to the character at all. Peter Parker's actually rather large. I think he's like 5'11", 6 foot. Somebody correct me in the comments down wrong. But needless to say, he's not a short guy. Anyone notice how small a short Peter is compared to everyone else in the show? I guess he's a late bloomer. Matt says he was. Maybe that's the case. Maybe he's going to shoot up out of nowhere. But yeah, I don't think so. Fortunately enough, we'll never have to worry about a season 2 of this show. Harry Osborn is bullied by a big redheaded white kid, which of course we all know that Harry Osborn and his father have both been completely and totally race swapped as well. And yeah, if you're drastically going to change the characters that have existed for decades, why not create new characters? They race swap Harry, and he's likely gay and or trans. Yeah, we all kind of figured that from the look, and it looks like it's probably going to be true. And there it is. There's the rainbow, the wonderful rainbow, the LGBT community, not God's rainbow, but the LGBTQ warped rainbow. And yeah, of course it's on the wall in a classroom, because of course it is. Peter's best friend, Nico, is an LGBTQ plus SJW. She remarks about asking out Pearl, Peter's babysitter, who he has a crush on, who is like 6'4". Pearl could be in the WWE, and this is Pearl right up here. This is the person that Peter has a crush on, his babysitter. Why does he have a babysitter at this age? I have no idea. But also, whole nother ball of weird. Whole nother ball of weird, especially the fact that she's like, what, is he into like a crush? I don't know. I don't even want to go down that road. I don't even want to go down that road. Don't even want to go down that road. Nico also tells Peter that if he works for Roxxon Oil, she'll stage an intervention. Oh, yeah. She's also an eco freak as well, boys and girls. Oh, what a joy. It's not like those people haven't been absolutely annoying and fucking out of their minds for, I don't know, the last couple of decades. I don't know. Weird. They completely eliminate and replace Flash Thompson, so the football player quarterback star is a black guy, Lonnie. However, he doesn't bully Parker or anything like that. He's actually a really super cool guy and befriends Peter. He's also not some dumb jock. He's actually pretty smart himself. And it's one of those things anyway, that's a whole different thing. College story, early stuff for that. But Flash wasn't an actual complete and total moron. He's a family guy. He's someone black kids can actually look up to. But of course, he's gotta be oppressed, right? He's gotta be oppressed because they could not help themselves. The anti-white rhetoric is right out there full bore because, boys and girls, every white person you meet is automatically a racist. Lonnie's on the subway where there's an empty seat next to him. The young white kid goes to sit next to him, but his old white-ass grandma won't let him, and they walk away. Oh, yes, boys and girls. What world are these people? Like, why is it that everybody in these Hollywood bubbles literally think it's still like the 1940s or the 1950s? We have been over that shit for a long-ass time. Racism died in the 90s, and then Barack Obama brought it back with a full-blown cult agenda. It is so garbage. It is so stupid. I am so over it, and so is the rest of the world, which is why this thing has a 69% from the audience score. Giggity. But guess what? Oh, they're not done there. No, it can't just be one scene like in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Actually, they had two as well. Of course, it's a standard fare. You've got to have two in this one as well. And we're only in the first 2 episodes. We're only in the first 2 episodes, boys and girls. The next scene with Lonnie shows him walking down the street. You can hear sirens. Lonnie is being racially profiled by a white cop, just like the white-ass old lady. Lonnie is sad about it. I mean, could you have been any more on the nose? Could you have been any more on the nose? Prior to that, Lonnie is walking out of the subway where the sign says, "Be the change." Join the NYPD. Let's wokeify more of a be the change. Be the change. Throughout the various episodes, Peter's stopping bad guys. Here's a great one. Hey, shout out to all the criminals, right? It's okay to break the law if you're poor. However, when it comes to some down on her luck girl who robs a pizza joint, like at armed robbery? Like, how did she rob a pizza joint? Did she just steal money out of the cash? I don't know. I'm not watching this shit. Shout out to Matt for doing this. He asked the owner to let her go. She is crying because she got caught. But Peter tells her, hey, it's okay. It's okay. You made a mistake. Jesus, don't let me regret this. Hey, it's okay if you're broke to steal, right? Yep. Dr. Connors is race swapped and gender bent. We already talked about that as well. They rip off from the Iron Man movies as well, because of course that's how it goes. Norman knows that Peter is Spider-Man. Peter didn't think a high facility camera would have things out there. And I mean, it just, like, you can read his full breakdown and his full conclusions and everything else. But I think you guys get the idea at this point, right? This is exactly what we expected it to be, between the producer that's behind it and everybody else involved with this hot pile of steaming garbage. Of course, they used it as nothing more as an excuse to take the great character of Peter Parker as Spider-Man, Peter Parker, who is the only actual Spider-Man out there, boys and girls, and go ahead and use him to force their agenda down the throats of your kids, right? Because that's what this was supposed to be. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It was supposed to be totally okay for your children to watch this. But considering the pushback, considering all of the insanity, it's one of those things you ask yourself, why did Disney even bother putting this out? Because they know this thing is going to flop. They know this thing is going to be bad. But just like the next year of MCU kind of content that we're going to get, there's going to be a lot of this leftover woke garbage after Feige went in there and fired all of the activists. And this guy is absolutely one of the ones that deserves to be on the next round of chopping blocks if he isn't already. We know a lot of time these people are locked into contracts, so you keep them around just for the duration of their contract, because it's cheaper to keep them than it is to go through the legal fights. Obviously, we've seen Disney go through plenty of those, but there is no way any of these people, if Kevin Feige really is dedicated to getting rid of the activists, one,
you will never see a season 2 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Go ahead and mark that on your calendar as something you can take home to the bank right now. Okay, that is done. This show is done. It is toast. The audience hates it. The only thing to look at this point now, besides of all of the woke agenda, all of the garbage animation, and everything else that is so off-putting about these series, the only thing that's going to be interesting about this for going forward is the ratings, to see exactly how bad it could be. And the thing about it is we'll probably never really know, because this thing's not going to chart. This is not going to end up in the Nielsen's top 10. The audience has already hated it. This thing is going to be despised. You might get a little bit of a spike, on your opening. We open your opening 2 episodes, and that's all of the reasons why you release 2 episodes at a time too, to help fluff the numbers. This thing is going to fail. This thing is going to flop. And guess what? It's another example of go woke, go broke. And it's exactly what we expected Disney Marvel under the former regime that they had over there. This thing is absolute insanity. It is nothing more than a self-insert. It is nothing more than to push an agenda on your kids. And if that doesn't make you angry for no other reason, I will have no idea what to do about you, because they are trying to shove this LGBTQ alphabet soup SJW garbage down the throats of your children. And they decided to bastardize the great legacy of Peter Parker and Spider-Man to do it. And if that doesn't anger every single Spider-Man fan out there, I don't know what to tell you. But guess what? All of us actual Spider-Man fans out there can rejoice, because this thing is going to turn into another disastrous dumpster fire. It's not going to chart on the ratings, and it's cost Disney Marvel hundreds of millions of dollars again. After all, go woke, go broke. And the new Spidey-Man series is absolutely woke.